Sure, she has delivered the occasional speech, but Melania Trump can often get people talking without ever saying a word. Her clothes alone can generate admiration and outrage in equal measure.
Melania Trump has often been spotted wearing some of the fashion world's most expensive pieces. Have you ever wondered what designers Melania prefers to wear? How much do her elegant gowns and designer evening wear cost? Wonder no more. Here are the most expensive outfits Melania Trump has ever worn. While on a trip to the United Kingdom, Melania Trump stunned while attending a black-tie dinner. Wearing a pale yellow chiffon dress by J. Mindel, the First Lady looked beautiful in the Grecian-inspired gown. The dress featured a fitted bodice with an off-the-shoulder neckline and an A-line skirt that featured subtle pleating details. The star of the dress was the shoulder detailing that flowed into a cape design. Melania finished the look with a pair of color-coordinated Manolo Blahnik silk high heels. Melania topped off the outfit with her very large engagement ring and studded earrings. The outfit also went perfectly with the setting of the gala, former Prime Minister Winston Churchill's family palace and estate. So how much was the outfit? Well, the dress alone was $6,990. But if it's the engagement ring you're wondering about, prepare yourself. As noted by the New York Times, at the time of her engagement to Donald Trump in 2005, Melania's engagement ring cost $1.5 million. The jeweler, Gaff, reportedly gave Donald a discount, and he only paid half what the ring was worth. Trump reportedly said about the ring, "Only a fool would say, 'No thank you, I want to pay $1 million more for a diamond.'" Shortly after she made the White House her home, Melania Trump stepped out in a Monique Lillier dress for one of her first outings in the Washington, D.C. social scene, and the look did not disappoint. While attending the annual gala at Ford's Theater in early June, Melania opted for a gold silk dress by the designer that featured a delicate pleat and drape detailed back. The dress fit the First Lady beautifully, and she topped off the stunning look with a pair of Manolo Blahnik heels that complemented the color of the dress to a T. As noted by The Observer, the designer dress set the First Lady back $2,595. And since Manolo Blahnik pumps start at around $660, we can safely assume that this outfit is well out of our price range. It was the hat seen around the world. While hosting French President Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte, Melania Trump dazzled in a white suit and hat and had the internet buzzing about the outfit shortly after. The white hat was designed by Hervé Pierre, and the look also featured a blazer and skirt suit from the Michael Kors collection. The classy look cost the following. The suit alone was $2,195. Melania paired the crisp look with a pair of 4.7-inch heels from the iconic shoe mogul Christian Louboutin that cost $745, as noted by the New York Times. The internet was quick to draw comparisons to pop culture moments that featured a prominent bold hat. Some users on Twitter pointed out the similarities to Beyoncé's Formation music video, in which she wore a wide brim hat. Others drew parallels to the political drama Scandal and its main character Olivia Pope, who was known for wearing the white hat in Washington, D.C. Still others couldn't help but compare Melania's bold look to Carmen Sandiego's. For the inaugural ball in 2017, Melania Trump was dressed by Hervé Pierre, and her literally priceless dress did not disappoint. Modern and timeless, the silk column gown with a bold, ruffled accentuation was easily the star of the show. Melania donated the gown to the National Museum of American History, where it is featured along with other dresses worn as part of the First Lady's collection. Pierre attended the donation ceremony in October 2017 and said that Melania knew what she wanted to look like on that very special day. He explained in an interview with the New York Times, "She didn't want a big ball gown. She wanted something sleek. Ivory, vanilla. It had to be really, really right because it was going to be part of history, part of this country's history, but also part of what I will have achieved on Earth." He added that he's designed countless dresses, but believes this one is the most memorable.
So beautiful. Like from a movie set, so beautiful.
We love a deconstructed, subtle Halloween look, and Melania Trump channeled a timeless movie with this outfit in 2018. As children stopped by the White House to trick-or-treat, Melania wore a checked wool coat from designer Bottega Veneta that was as classy as it was evocative of a truly iconic movie, Clueless. The yellow plaid design was unmistakably similar to Cher's Dolce & Gabbana plaid skirt suit from the film. And while the First Lady chose a different designer for her look, the subtle nod to the film was not missed. Melania's single-breasted coat, part of Veneta's Fall 2018 collection, featured impeccable tailoring and a sharply pleated back, according to Net-a-Porter. So how much did this look cost? Hold on to your hats. This Clueless evoking coat cost a whopping $3,950. What a First Lady chooses to wear during the inauguration is the talk of the town. And Melania Trump was clearly aware of that when choosing this look for the swearing-in ceremony. Joe Z, the editor-in-chief of Yahoo Style, told Good Morning America, "Ralph Lauren was definitely at the top of the list, but there were also several European designers. I think it would have been a big mistake for her to appear for the first time at the inauguration in a non-American designer." The custom cashmere powder blue suit was a hit, and Melania looked elegant and sophisticated. The outfit featured a turtleneck dress and a fitted crop jacket, and the First Lady finished the look with color-coordinated gloves, high heels, and a small clutch handbag. The ensemble instantly drew parallels to Jackie Kennedy.
And I know everyone's saying, oh, it's a copy of Jackie Kennedy. They both were wearing what was a modern take on a classic at the respective time.
While the actual price of this expensive look wasn't disclosed, dresses from Ralph Lauren can cost as much as $12,000 on the designer's website, and custom pieces likely cost quite a bit more. Nothing beats a well-tailored coat, and Melania Trump proved that while traveling with her husband in 2018. The First Lady was spotted exiting Air Force One in Helsinki, Finland, en route to a summit with Vladimir Putin in a wool coat from designer Isoud, and we were instantly struck with fashion envy. According to USA Today, the heather gray coat has leather detailing on the pockets and is lined with 100% silk. Melania paired the gorgeous coat with a white button-down blouse, tailored brown trousers, boxy sunglasses, and, surprisingly, brown flats. Known for her ever-consistent stilettos, Melania's shoe choice was shocking. But the First Lady definitely struck the balance between chic and travel-friendly with this expensive outfit. Since the coat was the star of the show, here's the price. And prepare yourselves, as this article of clothing will not be joining our wardrobes anytime soon. The coat alone cost $3,995. It took a minute for Melania Trump and her son Barron to join her husband in the White House. After Donald Trump assumed the presidency, the First Lady stayed in Manhattan until June, citing her son's schooling as her main priority for delaying the move. But the time finally came for the Trump family to reunite, and unlike some of us who choose cutoff jeans and an old t-shirt for moving day, Melania opted for a far more sophisticated and expensive outfit that definitely had our budgets beat. While walking toward her new home, the First Lady opted for a pair of Bali trousers, a classic pair of Manolo Blahnik heels, a Dolce & Gabbana blouse, and an Hermes Birkin bag. Here's the cost breakdown, as noted by Business Insider. The trousers were $575, the heels were $595, the blouse was at least $100, and to top it all off, the bag was $13,000. We can't imagine that Melania herself was doing much of the heavy lifting, but she definitely made moving look classy. Melania Trump's speech at the 2016 Republican National Convention was controversial. As people noticed, it was eerily similar to a speech Michelle Obama made years earlier.
Like, you work hard for what you want in life.
That you work hard for what you want in life.
However, others focused on the expensive outfit that Melania chose for the occasion instead. The First Lady looked striking in a bold white dress by designer Roksanda. And as noted by Vanity Fair, she didn't work with a designer for the occasion. She simply bought the dress off of Net-a-Porter herself. The Margot dress featured a fitted bodice and bell-shaped sleeves and was made from a blend of cotton and silk. Net-a-Porter recommended pairing the dress with gold accessories, but Melania kept the look fairly simple. She rocked her signature middle-part hair and kept her makeup classic. Get ready for the price. The dress cost $2,190, and Melania paired it with Christian Louboutin heels. All eyes were on the Trumps in November of 2016, something that Melania Trump clearly understood as she dressed to impress. On the evening of the election, the First Lady-elect chose a Ralph Lauren jumpsuit while joining her husband on stage to celebrate his victory. The outfit was as bold as it was classic, and looking back was a clear indication of what clothes Melania would opt to wear as First Lady. As noted by ABC News at the time, the jumpsuit featured a dynamic silhouette and a one-shoulder neckline. The expensive outfit sold for $4,000 at the Bergdorf Goodman department store and was worn with pride by the First Lady. Melania paired it with her classic middle-part hairstyle, simple makeup, and a radiant smile fit for the occasion. While attending her husband's first joint address to Congress, Melania Trump stunned in a Michael Kors suit, garnering both positive and negative reviews on social media. As noted by Vanity Fair, the First Lady's expensive outfit featured a cinched and belted waistline and dozens of dazzling beads. From the 2017 Michael Kors Spring Collection, the suit set the First Lady back $9,590, but the price was hardly the subject of the criticism she received. Some people took to Twitter and said that the choice was far too flashy and inappropriate for the halls of Congress, while others rushed to her defense, calling the suit bold. Either way, the price tag is what has us freaking out. Michael Kors discussed the outfit after the occasion, telling Vanity Fair, "Mrs. Trump has been a longtime client at our New York boutique. She has a keen understanding of what works best for her and her lifestyle. My embroidered black suit reflects the streamlined glamour that she is known for." The black suit, appropriate for the occasion or not, was simply gorgeous. We saved one of Melania Trump's most expensive looks for last. While attending the White House Historical Association dinner in 2017, Melania opted for a glimmering sequin gown by designer Monique Lillier and looked just as radiant as the dress itself. Having been spotted earlier in the day wearing a pair of jeans and sneakers, the First Lady quickly changed into the expensive outfit indicative of her elite Manhattan life before the White House. The floor-length embellished gown was made from chiffon fabric and featured a sheer cape-like design, as noted by InStyle. Melania paired the look with her classic middle part and soft waves, and opted to keep her makeup clean and subtle. The look was as classy as it was expensive, so get ready for the price tag. The Monique Lillier gown set the First Lady back $7,995, and at the time was available for purchase from the Bergdorf Goodman department store.
Melania Trump has been the subject of intense media coverage ever since her husband started campaigning for the presidency, especially when it comes to her clothes. What outfits should the First Lady have reconsidered? Wonder no more. Here are some of the most inappropriate outfits ever worn by Melania Trump. Talk about a price tag that makes our eyes pop out of our heads. After arriving in Sicily to attend the G7 summit in 2017, Melania shocked the world with her jacket of choice, a floral embroidered look from designer Dolce & Gabbana. The actual jacket itself looked beautiful, and the ensemble was very sleek. So what was inappropriate about it? The cost. As was noted by the New York Times, the jacket set the First Lady back $51,500. Yes, you heard that correctly. The jacket, described as having a 3D flower kind of look, wasn't even available in stores when the First Lady wore it to the summit. At least not for anyone we'd call a casual shopper. If you wanted to snag the jacket while it was available, you had to put down a cool deposit of $25,750. Don't mind us while we hyperventilate just thinking about it. Melania finished the look with a column dress, heels, and a purse valued at $1,630. Just to put the price in perspective, the average teacher's yearly salary in the United States is less than $60,000. Melania Trump has caught some flack for a number of her appearances, but few were as controversial as her outfit choices while on a trip to Africa. The First Lady stopped in Ghana, Malawi, Kenya, and Egypt, traveling with the United States Agency for International Development. But regardless of her reasons for being there, it was her colonial pith helmet and safari-inspired style that caught international attention. For one leg of her trip, in Egypt, Melania opted for a cream-colored suit with a white shirt, a black tie, and a fetching white fedora that drew comparisons to everything from Out of Africa to Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Almost regret it.
But that wasn't all Melania packed for this trip that caught people's eyes. During a safari tour in Kenya, she made the unfortunate decision to wear a hat with a striking resemblance to a white pith helmet, widely taken as a symbol for colonial exploitation of Africa during the 19th and 20th centuries. It was widely regarded as a poor choice at best, and Melania was criticized for being either completely unaware of the look's historical implications, or for not seeing her suggestive outfit choices as a big deal at all.
I wish people would focus on what I do, not what I wear.
First ladies are known for choosing important social causes to champion. Melania Trump's predecessor, Michelle Obama, focused on providing healthy meals to children and established the White House's vegetable garden. In perhaps a show of political friendship, Melania Trump kept the garden operating after Obama's time as First Lady came to an end. But after a photo op in September 2017, she came under some serious fire for what some called a less than appropriate gardening outfit. As noted by CNN, the First Lady hosted a group of 10 kids from DC's Boys and Girls Club of America for a harvesting event. But it was her outfit that received attention. Melania opted for a Balmain plaid shirt that cost over $1,000 and paired it with a pair of Converse sneakers that were out-of-the-box clean. The internet was quick to point out the out-of-touch outfit option. One thing is clear: stick to your grubby shorts and overused sneakers while playing in the dirt. Melania hit the White House garden in August 2018 to help plant an Eisenhower-era oak tree sapling. But again, it was her outfit that stole the show, and not for the right reasons. Instead of opting for flats to avoid sinking into the ground and a pair of jeans she wouldn't mind getting dirty, Melania wore a $4,000 floral skirt from Valentino and finished the look with a pair of 4-inch Christian Louboutin stiletto heels, which easily would have cost her $745. The whole outfit felt out of touch, especially when she showed off her gold-colored ceremonial shovel. Melania Trump is a fan of stilettos, but like most things, the expensive pumps have a time and a place. But that doesn't seem to be a sentiment that the First Lady shares, because she opted for a pair of high, pencil-thin heels while traveling to the areas devastated by Hurricane Harvey in 2017. The First Lady is most often seen in heels, but her footwear choice while visiting a region that had gotten 30 inches of rain was not taken by most critics as an appropriate option. She paired the footwear with an outfit that honestly would have fit the bill if she had been wearing a pair of sturdy boots. The First Lady must have gotten the memo that her shoes were not a celebrated look, because she changed while on her way into a pair of far more sensible shoes and a baseball cap. All eyes were on the Trumps during the 2020 Republican National Convention, and although the night gave us one of the most awkward Melania Trump moments, it also gave us another inappropriate outfit. As noted by GQ, Melania opted for an army green-colored military jacket that featured an edgy, dynamic silhouette and a matching pencil skirt. The look was from designer Alexander McQueen's Resort 2020 collection, and the jacket alone set the First Lady back $2,450. But the large price tag wasn't the aspect of the look that was deemed inappropriate. It was Melania's choice to wear a design indicative of the military-style looks often rocked by dictators. As noted by The Cut, the designer outfit would have probably not been a big deal if anyone else had worn it, but Melania Trump's choice to wear such a look while standing at a podium situated in front of a line of American flags was an optic that didn't look great. While speaking to the United Nations General Assembly about cyberbullying, Melania Trump brought up the topic of children's hunger across the world. No child should ever feel hungry, stalked, frightened, terrorized, bullied, isolated, or afraid, with nowhere to turn. We must teach each child the values of empathy and communication that are at the core of the kindness, mindfulness, integrity, and leadership which can only be taught by example. Sound advice, but people were quick to point out the First Lady's hypocrisy. For the event, Melania chose a $2,950 fuchsia pink dress from designer Del Pozo. So while speaking about childhood hunger, the outfit made her look completely out of touch. The First Lady's choice of leather leggings for an outing in December 2018 caused a notable stir, not because of the slim fit or the silhouette, but because the leggings were so close to her skin color that it looked like she wasn't wearing pants at all. At first glance, it appeared as though Melania was walking hand in hand with her husband while wearing only a green mini dress. A bold option considering that it was winter at the time in Washington, D.C. But at a closer look, commentators realized that she was wearing a pair of tan leather leggings. The illusion, however, fooled a lot of people on the internet. Melania Trump is responsible for the White House Christmas decorations, and her outfit during the 2019 unveiling did not please one critic. Specifically, the coat she wore over her shoulders during the big reveal. Robin Givhan, critic at large for The Washington Post, shared her thoughts on what she described as Melania's inappropriate look, and pointed to a sense of disconnect between the First Lady and the public. Givhan wrote, "The coat looks ridiculous, but more than a silly fashion folly, the coat is a distraction. It's a discomforting affectation taken to a ludicrous extreme. In a video that is intended to celebrate the warmth and welcoming spirit of the holiday season, that simple flourish exudes cold, dismissive aloofness." Givhan was onto something because it was revealed in October 2020 that Melania had some choice words about being responsible for the White House's Christmas look.
I'm working like my ass off.
I know.
That Christmas stuff that, who gives a about Christmas stuff and decoration, but I need to do it, right?
Melania Trump's fashion choices caused a stir from the beginning of her time as First Lady, and her outfit option for the official White House portrait was not hailed as an appropriate one. Melania opted for a sharp, well-fitted black blazer and soft makeup for the shoot. But what captured the negative attention was her choice to wear her $3 million 25-carat diamond ring as a part of her official portrait.
Wow, that's expensive.
Donald Trump gifted the ring to his wife for their 10th anniversary, and it was the price that put critics in a bind. Many said that it was inappropriate for the First Lady to wear such a ring that could pay for programs that the president planned on cutting in his proposed federal budget, like Meals on Wheels and other social programs. But Melania Trump wasn't the only First Lady to be criticized for her White House portrait. Michelle Obama came under serious fire for opting for a sleeveless dress while posing for her photo, so it looks like perhaps no First Lady is going to please everyone.
Incredible evening before it even starts because people, they wanted to contribute to a cause of making America great again.
On April 6th, the president attended a right-wing star-studded soiree in Palm Beach, Florida, raking in $50 million. Melania has the internet buzzing about her pricey jumpsuit,
which is like about twice what Biden raised 2 weeks ago.
A sum his staff called record-breaking for a single campaign event. The night wasn't just about political power plays, it was also a family affair.
Are you going to return to the campaign trail with your husband? Stay tuned.
Melania Trump, the enigmatic former First Lady, made a rare appearance at her husband's side.
We have not seen much of her on the campaign trail.
Her absence on the trail has fueled speculation about her desire for privacy, for herself and her son Barron. The former FLOTUS strutted into the fundraiser wearing a long-sleeved purple Valentino jumpsuit adorned with an oversized floral print on the sleeves and lower legs. While it didn't break the bank like her $96,000 wedding gown, it certainly didn't come cheap either, with a retail price of nearly $7,000. Some fashionistas applauded her boldness, while others wondered if she should have stuck to her privacy policy instead. Humorist Paul Rudnick couldn't resist a dig on X, posting side-by-side pictures of Melania and an old pattern kit of 70s floral housecoats. People ask what Melania's been doing. She's been making her own clothes. Followers agreed, with one posting, she had the choice of a bedspread or the dining room curtains. Though she's normally the picture of high style, Melania has made some outrageous fashion choices in her life that drew unwanted attention. She was the only former First Lady not to wear black to Rosalind Carter's funeral, though her gray ensemble was appropriately conservative. She donned a pricey Balmain flannel shirt to do some gardening at the White House. By comparison, Melania's splashy jumpsuit seems tame. Still, that didn't stop the snarkers on X, who made comparisons to shower curtains, Goodwill donations, a polyester Walmart monstrosity, and, as one follower slammed, a god-awful, ugly, formless thrift store tablecloth. One commenter pointed out the irony of Donald Trump's recent fundraising efforts, which include selling Bibles featuring copies of the Constitution and other political documents in an attempt to appeal to Christian voters.
We must protect content that is pro-God. We love God.
That poster wrote, Trump begs his MAGA donors for their very last $5, while Melania wears a $6,900 Valentino romper to their billionaire dinner. And another sharp-eyed observer noted Melania's outfit was the same one Awkwafina wore to a movie screening in 2019. Talk about some odd couple twinning, but one Trump critic actually gave Melania an A+. Not overly made up, not revealing, not clinging to every curve. Compare what she has on to the typical woman at Mar-a-Lago who looks like she broke into the performers' dressing room at Illusions Drag and got away with the gaudy collection.
The president would never do a party that wasn't the best. from typical 90s get-ups to White House couture and all the controversies in between. The former First Lady's looks have taken us on quite the journey. Born in Slovenia in 1970, Melania Trump was determined to escape to a better life. After being told by a street photographer that she had what it took to become a model, she moved to New York in 1996 in pursuit of the runway and the American dream. 2 years later, she met Donald Trump at a Fashion Week party. He was instantly smitten and pursued her despite having a date at the time. Though she rejected his advances at first, she eventually gave him a call and they went on their first date at the popular nightclub Moomba. During the early days of their courtship, Melania sported dark chestnut locks and quintessentially 90s pencil brows. She was also far less polished and refined than she would later become, as she paired her slinky satin baby doll dress with a simple lace clutch and sandals. As her relationship with Donald Trump blossomed, there was a noticeable shift in Melania's wardrobe. In 1999, she began appearing more put together as she donned chic little black dresses at glitzy events. Her hair also appeared more controlled as she showcased sleek ironed locks. It was still the 90s after all. That same year, Melania sat down with ABC News for one of her first high-profile interviews, as she declared that she could see her new beau being a great president. As she put it, "He's very smart. He knows how to do business. He would be a great leader." And when asked about her aspirations as a potential first lady, Melania responded,
"I would be very traditional, like Jackie Kennedy."
Though she had dreams of becoming a first lady, Melania actually split up from Donald Trump in January 2000 as he was making a bid for the presidency. However, they appeared to be in the midst of reconciling just weeks later. During this time, Melania's style shifted once again, appearing less monochromatic and more playful. At the VH1 Vogue Fashion Awards, she sported messy beach waves and a vibrant maxi dress with a pattern resembling mermaid scales. During an interview with Du Jour, Melania revealed that the campaign trail drew a wedge between her and Donald. As she put it, "That was part of it. We were apart for a few months, not long. We got back together. He was always thinking about it, but he loved what he did. He had his business. He was not saying, 'Now is the time.'" Having obtained her green card in 2001, Melania Trump was settling into life in the United States in the early 2000s. Her modeling work was also flourishing. In 2002, she appeared on the cover of New York Magazine, recreating the iconic VJ Day in Times Square photograph in an homage to the firefighters who risked their lives in the wake of the 9/11 attacks. Melania was also adopting the styles of the era. Fur made a major comeback at the start of the decade, and she was game for seizing this popular, albeit controversial, trend. At a Victoria's Secret fashion show in 2002, she gave mob wife vibes in an extremely oversized fur coat layered over a slinky black slip dress. In January 2005, Melania and Donald Trump tied the knot in Palm Beach at a ceremony attended by everyone from Shaquille O'Neal to Hillary Clinton. The bride wore a $187,000 Dior dress that took 1,000 hours to assemble and appeared on the cover of Vogue in a bridal spread. Following her nuptials, Melania was enjoying A-list status and appeared at the Met Gala that spring. She stepped out on the red carpet in a black satin Alexander McQueen gown that hugged her figure. The white train and her updo were both giving off swan vibes. Years later, this retro updo would become a defining staple of her First Lady looks. Melania Trump has had her fair share of fashion faux pas through the years. In 2008, for example, she appeared at the premiere of the Sex and the City movie in a white smock dress that missed the mark. The unflattering number was paired with an oversized beaded necklace, which was the style at the time. The clunky styling and inexplicable addition of zebra print heels made this outfit a bit of a dud. But perhaps Melania had other things on her mind besides fashion. 2 years earlier, she gave birth to her first child, Barron Trump. When she was asked in a 2008 Vanity Fair profile if she was planning on having any more children, she responded, "I already have 2." By 2010, Melania Trump's wardrobe had shifted to the graceful aesthetic that has since become her signature. While attending that year's ACE Awards, she rocked a sparkly, figure-hugging black gown and a vintage updo, while accessorizing with diamond jewelry. Also that year, Melania sat down with New York Magazine to discuss her favorite Big Apple pastimes. Ironically enough, she revealed that she and her husband had recently seen Green Day's American Idiot musical on Broadway and thoroughly enjoyed it. The musical and the album that it's based on were written as a protest against former President George W. Bush and was later tweaked to reflect the Trump administration. It was an unusual admission from the future First Lady, considering that Donald had changed his political allegiance from Democratic to Republican the previous year. By 2016, Donald Trump's presidential bid was underway, and Melania was gaining significant media attention for her fashion. Throughout her husband's campaign, she was decked out in elegant attire, signifying a noteworthy shift in her style from snazzy New Yorker about town to demure politician's wife. At the Republican National Convention, for example, she donned a white shift dress with extravagant puff sleeves. The ensemble, which Melania put together without the help of a stylist, was made by Serbian designer Roksanda. As Beth Dink of Charleston, a professor of fashion history and expert on First Lady style, explained to Elle, her style has matured. I think it's gotten a little more in line with what we think of as First Lady style. I don't think we'll ever see her in those baby doll dresses she used to wear.
If I'm honored to serve as First Lady, I will use that wonderful privilege to try to help people in our country.
However, Melania has denied that she had altered her fashion sense to suit First Lady sensibilities. As she insisted to Elle, "My style has stayed pretty consistent over the years. I always wear what I like and what is appropriate for the occasion." In January 2017, Donald Trump was sworn in as president. While his inauguration speech proved to be controversial, his wife was praised for her stunning outfit. Its pastel softness was deemed a welcome contrast to the abrasiveness of the red MAGA hats. Melania channeled Jackie Kennedy in a duck egg blue suit with matching gloves and another updo. She also showcased one of the most iconic names in American fashion for this inauguration look, Ralph Lauren. But unlike Jackie O, who was a devoted career girl, Melania appeared very much the dutiful wife to her presidential husband. Melania later turned heads in her inaugural gown, a cream off-the-shoulder number by Hervé Pierre. As Pierre divulged to the New York Times, she didn't want a big ball gown. She wanted something sleek, ivory, vanilla. It had to be really, really right because it was going to be part of history. As her time as First Lady came to an end, Melania Trump's style became increasingly traditionalist. While giving a speech at the 2020 Republican National Convention to advocate for her husband's re-election, she looked unusually austere in a military green suit. But in an unusual move, and in stark contrast to her stoic appearance, she spoke about the devastating impact of the COVID-19 pandemic.
I know many people are anxious and some feel helpless. I want you to know you're not alone.
Stylist Naina Singla told Express that Melania had become noticeably more conservative since entering the White House, and that this was reflected in her outfits. As Singla explained, she used to wear more form-fitting dresses, baby doll dresses, plunging necklines, and miniskirts. But now we would not see her wearing such styles. She dropped her hemline since becoming the First Lady, and she wears more pants and pantsuits. Her look is more polished and professional. By 2021, Melania Trump was out of the White House and back to civilian life. Though she left her post with one of the worst popularity ratings of any First Lady in recent history, her wardrobe largely evaded criticism, with the notable exception of the green Zara jacket. Having reportedly spent over $1 million on clothing during her tenure, she left an indelible legacy of First Lady looks. The online magazine Slate even argued that her wardrobe was the best thing about the Trump presidency. In the summer of 2021, Melania was snapped during an outing with her son Barron. They were both wearing jeans and carrying handbags as they headed out of Trump Tower. While not as playful as her baby doll ensembles, she appeared far less austere in a casual shirt and jeans combo. In the years that have followed her First Lady stint, Melania Trump has been showcasing her flair for understated street style in the midst of personal turmoil. In 2023, she looked solemn as she headed to Trump Tower following her husband's 37-count indictment pertaining to the storage of classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago resort. Despite these setbacks, Melania still made sure to make an impression with her outfit, styling a black sweater over a tan midi skirt and accessorized with two-tone ballet flats and a classic Chanel purse. She embodied old-money Manhattanite chic as she breezed through the city. It was the sort of outfit that wouldn't have looked out of place on an old-school influencer attending Fashion Week. Melania has been keeping a notable distance from her husband on the 2024 campaign trail, though she did make a surprise appearance at a polling station in Palm Beach, Florida in March. She continued to push the fashion envelope by wearing an Alexander McQueen white shirt dress with a large graphic floral motif. It reportedly cost a princely $2,690. It was a bold and unconventional outfit for the often conservatively dressed Melania. Some observers speculated that her choice of attire carried a hidden meaning by signifying a transition away from her guarded public persona. Meanwhile, The Telegraph argued that she was simply keeping up with the trends, and the floral number was her way of embracing the so-called Florida Flash aesthetic, as seen on the Apple TV Plus show Palm Royale.
Melania Trump is hardly a stranger to controversy, but these shocking outfit choices really took the cake. Near the end of 2023, former First Lady Rosalynn Carter died. As is custom, all the living women who have held or currently hold the position attend Carter's memorial service. That's Hillary Clinton, Laura Bush, Michelle Obama, Melania Trump, and Jill Biden. And all the First Ladies were dressed in black for the occasion, except for Melania. Rather than wear the typical mourning color, Melania attended Carter's memorial in a gray coat. Her outfit of choice sparked a spell of backlash. One user on X, formerly Twitter, said, "Notice how this clueless clown stands out among the sea of black?" That's not to say everyone on the social media outlet found Melania's choice to be quite so egregious. Some X-users maintained that it's entirely appropriate to wear gray to a funeral, and others pointed out that Carter herself wore brown and white instead of black to Richard Nixon's funeral. One etiquette expert weighed in on the polarizing ensemble. Diane Gottsman told Newsweek, "Her choice of outfit was conservative and respectful. People are looking watchfully to find something to criticize, even when the criticism is not warranted, which probably has more to do with other issues rather than Melania's outfit." In late August 2017, Hurricane Harvey devastated southern Texas. As most presidents do in the wake of a natural disaster, then President Donald Trump and then First Lady Melania Trump traveled to the Lone Star State to survey the damage and meet with affected locals. When Melania and her husband left the White House for the disaster site, however, she opted to wear a pair of stilettos. Many citizens found her choice impractical and out of touch, and some even suggested she was unaware of why she was traveling. One X-user said, "She does know she's going to a natural disaster, right? Not sure 4-inch heels is the most appropriate footwear." By the time the Trumps landed in Texas, Melania had changed into a pair of sneakers. Still, the damage had already been done. In response, Melania's then communications director, Lindsay Reynolds, said, "It's sad that we have an active and ongoing natural disaster in Texas, and people are worried about her shoes." In 2018, Donald Trump delivered his first State of the Union address. For these occasions, elected lawmakers from across the country and other state officials gather at the U.S. Capitol building, and it's tradition for the First Lady to attend too. That year, a large group of female lawmakers wore black to the State of the Union in support of the Me Too movement. Representative Debbie Dingell told Glamour, "Black has become the color of solidarity for women in the country right now to show this movement is real. Every person needs to feel safe at work, and we've got to look forward to how we do that and how we really change the climate." However, Melania Trump caused quite a stir when she arrived at the State of the Union wearing white. Many people wondered if Melania's color choice was a protest against the Me Too movement. She has never publicly commented on why she picked out an all-white ensemble, but she has stated her thoughts on the movement.
We need to be concerned for all of them, not just boys or girls. I think for all of them.
The year following her all-white moment at the State of the Union, Melania Trump did the exact opposite. Melania's decision to wear all black at the State of the Union address stood in stark opposition to other female lawmakers who wore white in honor of the suffragette movement. At the time, Representative Lois Frankel told Glamour, "It's about sending a positive message that Democrats are fighting for the people by promoting economic security for women and families." While her stepdaughter Tiffany Trump also wore white, Melania showed up in a black Burberry outfit. Once again, many people took issue with Melania's outfit, even speculating about whether or not she was sending a message about the female lawmakers. Others wondered if her outfit was inspired by her stance on Brexit, given that she was wearing an English brand. According to Harvey Pierre, Melania's stylist, the outfit was not supposed to send a message, nor were any of her other outfits. She told WWD, "As long as I find the right outfit, the designer is almost irrelevant. Afterwards, social media will go on about Brexit or whatever. On my side, believe me, I don't think of it, because I don't have time to do that." It's no secret that the Trumps are wealthy people. Donald Trump reportedly boasts an estimated $2.6 billion net worth, while Melania Trump is said to hold an estimated $50 million separate from her husband. Basically, they can afford to buy just about anything they could want, and it seems that they do. In 2017, however, Melania might have taken this to something of an extreme. While on a state visit to Italy for the G7 summit, Melania walked through Sicily in a Dolce & Gabbana dress that cost $51,500. At the time, onlookers were upset about Melania's choice of jacket because of its staggering price. In 2017, the median salary of an American woman was $41,977. Again, the Trump family has never tried to be relatable, but for some, this costly garment was a bridge too far. In 2021, the jacket re-entered the conversation when Vice President Kamala Harris was criticized for shelling out $500 on kitchen accessories while in Paris. In response to this criticism, one ex-user said, Fox News, in 2017, Melania Trump wore this $51,500 Dolce & Gabbana jacket to a visit with G7 leaders. Please don't talk to me about Kamala Harris spending $500 on cookware.
An ill-timed jacket set off a firestorm of controversy. Donald Trump defended it publicly, but what did he say behind closed doors? Melania Trump hasn't been immune to an inappropriate outfit or two over the years, but there's one in particular that reportedly got under her husband's skin. Political watchers will likely remember the seriously inappropriate jacket she wore back in June 2018, which had the phrase, "I really don't care, do you?" written across the back. The then First Lady wore the piece during a trip to Texas, where she was visiting families affected by migrant detention centers. In the 2024 book American Woman, The Transformation of the Modern First Lady, From Hillary Clinton to Jill Biden, Katie Rogers, the New York Times' White House correspondent, claimed Donald Trump was seriously unhappy about his wife sporting the item. So much so that he didn't hold back on his wife or her press secretary, Stephanie Grisham. According to Rogers, Grisham later recalled that Trump summoned the two of them to his office, yelled at them, and then decided that the official explanation for the jacket would be that Melania was speaking directly to the media. Grisham previously wrote about the jacket and her tense meeting with the Trumps to discuss it in her 2021 book, I'll Take Your Questions Now. Back then, she claimed Donald Trump asked the two of them amid the intense media scrutiny, "What the hell were you thinking?" Melania Trump's green Zara jacket no doubt caused serious controversy all over the world, but there were mixed messages at the time about exactly why she'd worn it, and many questioned her intentions.
Does Melania Trump really care?
Journalist Julia Reinstein wrote on X that a statement from the then First Lady's spokesperson claimed that her decision to wear the controversial slogan wasn't intentional. The statement read, "After today's important visit to Texas, I hope the media isn't going to choose to focus on her wardrobe." Stephanie Grisham also tweeted about the jacket on the day her boss wore it, writing, "If media would spend their time and energy on her actions and efforts to help kids, rather than speculate and focus on her wardrobe, we could get so much accomplished on behalf of children." Grisham also included the telling hashtags, "She cares" and "It's just a jacket." However, Donald Trump clearly wasn't happy with that explanation. He tweeted about the clothing following Grisham's explanation, writing, "I really don't care, do you?" written on the back of Melania's jacket, refers to the fake news media. Melania has learned how dishonest they are, and she truly no longer cares. The social media post seemingly came after his reported crisis meeting with the duo. Melania Trump herself spoke about the controversial jacket 4 months later. Appearing on ABC News, Trump claimed she'd only intended to wear the jacket getting on and off the plane, not while visiting the children. She also confirmed there was a target for the slogan.
And it was for the people and for the left-wing media who are criticizing me.
But Stephanie Grisham had a different take on what really happened. In her book, Grisham wrote she didn't know there was a message on Trump's jacket until they were on the plane. After headlines began popping up while they were en route, Grisham recalled Trump suggesting they put a cross through the word "don't." But knowing the photos were already out there, Grisham told her not to wear the jacket when she deboarded. Trump didn't take Grisham's advice, though, reportedly believing it would make her look like she, quote, did something wrong. Trump, as we know, ended up wearing the jacket, and the two decided to defend her fashion.